Good morning again. Today we're gonna build a little bit knowledge about our big question. So let's watch this video and then we will see some background or different traditions from different cultures. So let's watch this video. It's a short video. It introduces our big question. So the essential question or the big question is, what can traditions teach you about cultures?
What can traditions teach you about cultures? Dance is an important tradition in the Eskimo culture. Eskimo children learn.
So as we said in the chart or the web that we did yesterday, we said that dance is one of the ways that can tell us about cultures.
About their culture as they learn to dance. We can learn a lot about culture from our families. Tamales are a traditional food in Panama. Maria's grandmother is teaching her more than how to cook. She's sharing her culture. Here, Kiku's grandfather is sharing his Japanese tradition of trimming bonsai trees. What a good way for Kiku to learn about her culture.
So now let's go to some cultures from different countries or different places. So let's watch this one before we start with our story.
This grandmother is sharing the tradition of making pottery by hand using a spinning wheel with her grandson.
So as you can see, this grandma or grandmother, she's making pottery. One of the traditions, she's sharing it with her grandson. So traditions move through generations.
In Guatemala, this mother teaches her son the art of weaving brightly colored cloth by hand using a loom.
That's Guatemala custom. She's wearing it. She's teaching her son also how to do colored cloth.
This father and son enjoy playing music together on traditional African drums called djembes.
So this is in Africa.
Here, a Chinese grandmother teaches her granddaughter the steps to a traditional Chinese fan dance.
And that's a dance also. Let's go back to the story. So you need your book now. The title of the story is The Dream Catcher. So let me start with it and then go to realistic fiction traits or details, and later on play the story.
The Dream Catcher.
So he's a dream catcher. If you remember Gary the Dreamer, also he's a dream. Here, the story they said.
The Dream Catcher. This story is realistic fiction.
So it's a realistic fiction. It means it has believable characters. It reflects life as lived today, and it includes settings and events from real life. So Peter is the main character. He lives with his grandmother. So let's see what goes on in this story.
Peter lives with his grandmother. They are Native Americans. One day, Peter tells his grandmother he has to give a presentation about a family tradition. For his project, he shows his class how to make dream catchers. He is very happy and proud of his culture.
So he has to present something at school. So his project was to show how to make dream catchers. And as you know, dream catchers, they are found nowadays everywhere, especially in cars. So he's very happy and proud of his culture. He loves his culture. Let's start with the first part of the story. And then we'll start filling the questions over here.
Peter walked home from school. Salty tears ran down his cheeks and his stomach hurt. He didn't know what to do. Grandmother was waiting for him on the front porch. "What's wrong, Bayan?" said Peter's grandmother. Bayan was Peter's Ojibwe name. He called his grandmother Nikomis. Peter looked up. "I have to give a presentation where I talk about a family tradition. I know we have lots of beliefs and customs. Can you remind me of one?" Nikomis smiled and nodded her head. "Come with me," she said.
So I'll play it again, but this time I'll play it slowly. So you
Peter walked
can.
home from school. Salty tears ran down his cheeks and his stomach hurt. He didn't.
So I'll play it slowly so you can listen to the words, to the spelling of the words, pronunciation of the words very carefully.
Peter walked home from school. Salty tears ran down his cheeks and his stomach hurt. He didn't know what to do. Grandmother was waiting for him on the front porch.
So you can see that, look at Peter, he wasn't feeling well. His tears ran down his cheek over here, and his stomach hurts. It seems he's worried. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know anything. He didn't know he had a project and he had no idea what to do. Grandmother was waiting for him on the front porch. That's grandma, and that's the porch. That's the fence of the stairs. She was waiting there.
"What's wrong, Bayan?" said Peter's grandmother. Bayan was Peter's Ojibwe name. He called his grandmother Nikomis. Peter looked up. "I have to give a presentation where I talk about a family tradition. I know we have lots of beliefs and customs. Can you remind me of one?" Nikomis smiled and nodded her head. "Come with me," she said.
So as you can see, they used nicknames. So Nikomis is his grandma, and Bayan is Peter's name. So they use nicknames. The first question says in paragraph 1 and 2, what happens? I'm gonna go over here. So the first question tells you, what happens after Peter gets home from school? So what happens after he goes or gets home from school? As you can see, if you go down over here, so Peter walked home from school. He wasn't feeling well. So the second thing, since it's sequence, it's telling you in order. The second thing happened over here is his grandmother asks him, "What's wrong?" So you can see it over here. So his grandmother asks him why he's upset or is not feeling good. Upset. So this is the first thing happened over here after his mother asks him. I'll try to make the font smaller so you can see it. Better. I'll make it 18 is good. And I'll go to green color. So his grandmother asks him why he's upset. It's in the second paragraph directly, what's wrong, Brian? They said, then later circle text evidence that supports your answer. So we said the text evidence that supports our answer or tells about the answer is over here, circle it till here. I'll make the circle pink so it shows properly. Sorry. Pink, and I'll draw the circle over here. So circle it also on the book. Then they said paragraph 3 and 5. Underline why Peter is upset. So let me play it.
Dialogue. Underline why Peter is upset. What does he ask Nokomis?
So as you can see that Peter is upset. If you go back to the story and you read it carefully, you will know that Peter was upset because he has a presentation where I talked about a family tradition, and he hasn't got any idea about this tradition or what to write about. So why Peter is upset? What does he ask Nicomas? So he asks her to help him or to give him an idea about the presentation. So he asks, write it also on the lines over here. He asks her to remind him or to give him of a family tradition. So the last part, how does the author help you understand Peter's culture? So if you look over here, let me save this part first, and then I'll go to the last part of our selection. If we're gonna write over here, how does the author help you understand about Peter's culture? The first thing they used is OGB names, that's nicknames, using nicknames. And also reminding as a reminder. So nicknames and reminders could help in the culture. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.